The morning sun filtered through the clinic window, casting a warm light on the soft whimpering of Max, a golden retriever whose once boundless energy had been dimmed by hip dysplasia. His owner, Melissa, knelt beside him, her fingers brushing gently through his fur. For years, Max had been her running companion, her best friend, her protector. But now every step he took was laced with pain. She had tried everything: anti-inflammatory meds, joint supplements, acupuncture. But nothing gave him back the spring in his step today. Though Melissa wasn't here for another painkiller. She was here for something new, something most dog owners still whispered about like a futuristic miracle stem cell therapy. In 2025, regenerative treatments for dogs aren't science fiction anymore. They're real and changing everything. Dr. Evans entered the room with a quiet confidence. She had seen too many dogs like Max, once vibrant companions now stuck on the sidelines. She carried a small cooler marked with temperature warnings and the logo of a biotech company that didn't even exist 5 years ago. Inside were the tools to reverse time, at least for Max's aching joints. Melissa had done her research. The procedure would involve harvesting stem cells from Max's fat tissue. Typically under light sedation, those cells would be isolated, purified, and injected back into the joints that had betrayed him. What they promised wasn't a cure, but a regeneration. Cartilage could regrow. Inflammation could recede. The body, with the right push, could remember how to heal. But there was a catch: the cost. The average price for stem cell therapy in 2025 hovers between $2,500 and $4,000 per treatment cycle. It's not covered by standard pet insurance, not yet. Some providers offer partial reimbursement under alternative therapies, but it's still rare. Melissa, like many, had dipped into her savings. For her, it wasn't just about extending Max's life. It was about giving him back the quality of it. Back in the sterile lab, technicians began the process. They extracted adipose tissue from Max's abdomen, just a few grams. Enough. Within hours, the stem cells were separated, expanded, and prepared for injection. Melissa watched through a monitor as the team moved, with the practiced grace of people who know they're on the edge of something transformative. What was once considered controversial, even fringe, had become an accepted frontier, and not just for orthopedic issues. In 2025, regenerative medicine is showing promise for treating spinal injuries, heart disease, and even autoimmune conditions in dogs. The science had accelerated fast, partly fueled by overlapping human trials and partly by the desperate hope of millions of pet owners like Melissa. When Max emerged from the treatment room, groggy but stable, Melissa wrapped him in a blanket. Dr. Evans knelt beside them. "You'll start to see changes in about 3 to 6 weeks," she said. "But keep in mind, every dog responds differently. Some need multiple rounds, some just one." "What's the success rate?" Melissa asked. "About 80% of dogs show measurable improvement. Not all become puppies again," Dr. Evans smiled, "but most get a lot of their movement and happiness back." The weeks passed like anxious chapters in a book Melissa had already read too many times. But then, something shifted. On a rainy Tuesday morning, Max trotted to the door without limping. His eyes had that old glint again. By the second month, he chased a squirrel with reckless abandon, skidding through the yard like a dog half his age. Melissa wept. Social media noticed. She posted a video of Max sprinting across the grass, tail high, tongue out, barking joyfully. Within 48 hours, it had over 5 million views. Comments poured in. "This is amazing. I didn't know this existed. How much did it cost? Is it safe? Where can I get this for my dog?" People weren't just watching, they were asking, Googling, calling their vets. Clinics across the country began offering consults. Some offered payment plans. Others partnered with biotech startups offering mobile processing units to bring stem cell extraction and delivery directly to rural practices. Critics still existed, of course. Some questioned the long-term safety, others the ethical implications. But for Melissa and now thousands like her, the proof was running joyfully across backyards, parks, and beaches. One surprising side effect: the treatment didn't just help dogs, it helped people. Watching their pets regain mobility often inspired owners to address their own chronic pain. Clinics began offering dual consultations, one for the dog, one for the human. Joint wellness, they called it. By the end of 2025, over 100,000 dogs had received stem cell therapy in North America alone. Costs began to drop slightly, with some basic treatments starting at Fars 800. Biotech firms competed for innovation dominance, pushing for better cell viability, longer lasting effects, and faster turnaround times. But for Melissa, those numbers didn't matter anymore. What mattered was Max, who now waited by the door every morning, leash in mouth, ready for another run. Not a slow limping walk, a run. And as they jogged down the familiar trail, leaves rustling overhead, she knew something profound had happened. Not just to Max's joints, but to the bond between humans and their dogs. They were no longer just companions growing old together. Now they were healing together, two